I'm Michele Warmund, State Extension Specialist at the University of Missouri. One of the challenges to field production of specialty crops has been plant injury due to off-target movement of herbicides such as dicamba and 2,4-D. Other than growing plants in protective structures or planting crops and cultivars that are less susceptible to herbicide injury, there are few short-term solutions to prevent drift onto your property. For long-term mitigation of herbicide drift injury, you may want to consider erecting a permanent fence of wood or some other material such as heavy-duty woven landscape fabric or construction-grade geotextile fabric. A fence constructed from these materials can be quickly erected, but they can be relatively expensive for large properties and may only protect low-growing vegetables and small fruit plants. Another solution for drift mitigation on farms is a living windbreak, using closely spaced plants on the perimeter of the property. Sorghum Sudan grass is an annual plant that grows 5 to 12 feet tall. Multiple rows of this crop can provide an inexpensive annual barrier for protection against herbicide drift on low-growing crops. Sorghum Sudan grass is usually planted after May 1st or when the soil temperature is above 60 degrees Fahrenheit in Missouri. Another option is a multiple row windbreak consisting of perennial trees and shrubs. In a 3-row windbreak, 1 row of evergreen trees, a second row of shrubs, and a third staggered row of shrubs in a planting about 40 to 50 feet wide will provide greater protection against herbicide drift than one with fewer rows. However, even a single row of tall plants with dense foliage will help minimize damage. When choosing plant materials, consider their suitability to the climate, soil, capacity for fast growth, and potential height and density. Also avoid windbreak plants that harbor pests and can harm your specialty crop. Shrubs may be planted 3 to 8 feet apart in a row, small thicket-forming trees about 8 to 15 feet apart, and large conifers 25 to 30 feet apart. Alternatively, trees and shrubs can be planted at closer spacings, and then later, when they become crowded, every other one can be removed. In either situation, plants should be spaced closer together than those in a home landscape, since any gaps in the windbreak become funnels that concentrate wind flow and accelerate wind speed. Some of the trees and shrubs that are suitable for this type of windbreak include American plum, silky or red twig dogwood, witch hazel, 9-bark, and American filbert. Shortleaf loblolly pine is a fast-growing evergreen that is also recommended. Eastern red cedar, or arborvitae, are 2 other evergreens that can be used in windbreaks at some sites. Nurseries that specialize in native trees and shrubs offer these plants, but orders must be placed at least 6 months in advance to ensure availability. In Missouri, the prevailing winds are from the north and northwest, but drift can be multi-directional, and auxin herbicides are known to move from great distances. Therefore, it's best to plant a windbreak that will enclose the property or planting if possible. Some of the drawbacks to windbreaks are that it takes more than one growing season to produce a solid wall of vegetation to mitigate drift. Secondly, purchasing trees and shrubs of any size is expensive. There are programs available to help purchase and maintain windbreaks for drift mitigation on farm property. The first step in the application process is to obtain a farm and tract number from your local farm service agency if you don't already have this. Next, visit your local Natural Resources Conservation Service office to apply for funding from the Environmental Quality Incentives Program, or EQIP program. In addition to the EQIP application, a conservation plan is required. These documents usually have a fall deadline, but early submissions are encouraged. Funding is competitive and applications are ranked by priority. Under the EQIP program, Growers usually pay upfront costs with their own funds and are reimbursed after the windbreak is certified as meeting NRCS standards. However, a participant can opt for the advance payment option. NRCS offices are staffed with personnel who can assist with the application process and windbreak planning.